Hello class, this is your instructor James Saunders, and I'd like to welcome you to Workshop 5. I want to keep this brief, just want to remind you that this week in our primary text we have chapters 7 and 8. Chapter 7 talking about issues related to relapse prevention, and of course chapter 8 talking about working with families. As always, you're going to have 2 discussion boards. Be sure that you do your initial post and then reply to at least 2 of your classmates. Remember, for full participation points, you got to post on at least 3 separate days of the workshop. You're also going to have a brief essay due on Wednesday night, and that should conclude your assignments. Don't forget to do the survey if you haven't already done so. As I've often done throughout the weeks, I've tried to provide you with additional resources. I think that's one of the best parts of learning is learning how to learn, learning where to go for more information, even beyond this course. And so I want to do that also here in week 5, leave you with some more resources, and I will post the bibliographic information along with this video in the faculty forum. So here we go. This is an oldie but a goodie. I mean, it's very old, back in I guess the late 80s, but Staying Sober, a guide for relapse prevention. It's an excellent book. If you haven't already seen it before, or if the agencies where you work don't have it, you can probably go on Amazon.com and get it fairly cheap because it is such an old edition, but it's a good book to have in your arsenal, in your library. Also, this is a book that's it was only done through a 2nd edition, but some of you may have seen this or read this. It's called Another Chance, Hope and Health for the Alcoholic Family. It's a really good book for talking about family dynamics and how addiction or alcoholism can impact the family. Here's one that's a textbook, but it's very, very good. Family Therapy Approaches with Adolescent Substance Abusers. Good information, of course, from working with teenagers, but it's just good information in general for a family therapy type approach for those of you who are interested in family systems. Then, speaking of family therapy and family systems, here's a book that does not deal primarily with addictions at all. It does have a chapter about family theory and substance abuse, but this is just a good book called Family Therapies, and it takes a comprehensive Christian approach. So it looks at the different models of family therapy that are out there. It critiques them, gives the highlights, kind of the good, the bad, the philosophical assumptions that they operate under, and then it also compares that through Christianity and how those different therapy modalities, how they stand in light of Scripture. So it's a very good resource to have in your library. Now, getting totally away from the topic of this course, being substance abuse, I wanted to share a couple of resources with you that I think are vital that just talk about the integration of faith and psychology. And I may have mentioned these earlier in the class. I can't remember. I'm getting kind of old, you know. So here you go. Integrative Approaches for Psychology and Christianity. A very, very good book. I highly recommend this. It talks about worldview issues and how faith and science do not have to be enemies. They can actually be allies in the healing professions. Good book. Here's one called Integrative Psychotherapy by Mark McMinn. Takes a look at different tenets of psychotherapy and Christianity and how you can weave those together. Also a book by Mark McMinn called Psychology, Theology, and Spirituality in Christian Counseling. Very good resource. And last but not least, some of you may have read this before or used this. It is geared toward adolescents, but it's called Choices and Consequences: What to Do When a Teenager Uses Alcohol or Drugs. It's a very good approach. It even goes beyond, the principles in it go beyond working with substance abuse, just how in general the choices that a person makes, they need to have consequences for those choices. And we as parents, we as professionals, practitioners, anytime you're in a role working, especially with adolescents, you need to be able to have clear consequences that they have to deal with based upon their behaviors. Anyway, I just always want to leave my students with plenty of resources, plenty of things to do with all your free time, right? I have thoroughly enjoyed having you in this course. I hope that I have done a decent job of facilitating, kind of managing the curriculum and answering your questions, guiding you. I've enjoyed praying together, sharing, and hopefully your faith has been challenged. And I know that you have been a wonderful blessing to me. If I can ever be of any help to you in any way, don't lose my phone number, 931-510-7747. You can always email me. And I tell all my students this. Some take me up on it, some don't. But I do have a Facebook account. It's just James Saunders. And I also have a Facebook group that is 2nd Squadron 278th ACR Chaplain Corner. And I try to post somewhat regular devotionals on that, or things that are important to families. I'll put that information also in this post when I put the video, but I like to stay in touch with my students. So if I could ever be of help to you in any way, please reach out and let me know. Again, finish strong. We're almost done, just a couple more days. Y'all been wonderful. Take care.